Good morning, Mr. Ma.
Yeah, hi Balaji, good morning. So let's wait for some more time. Huh?
Sure.
Yeah, hi Karan, good morning.
Good morning, Narsimha. This is Mamta.
Yeah, we'll wait for some more time. 3-4 minutes. Huh?
Sure.
Hi, good morning, Rama.
Hi, good morning. Sorry, I'm a little bit late.
Yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
How about Balaji and Karan?
It's clear.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, hi, Alan. So, yeah, I think let's get
Oh, yeah.
started. So, others would be joining. So, yeah, today we'll just have introduction to IICS, where we are going to understand like where exactly this particular IICS data integration would come in, and then we would also talk about architecture of Informatica Cloud and see where do we stand with respect to what carrying out Informatica Cloud operations, right? So that we are going to see one by one. Yeah. So let us try to get into the terms that we use within the Informatica Cloud. Yeah. Yeah. So let me try to share my desktop. So I hope all of you could able to see my desktop, right? Karan, Balaji, Rahman, and
Yeah, I can see Narasimha.
Yes, able to see your screen.
Yeah, I'm able to see it.
fine. Okay, so yeah, yeah. IICS is a broader term, which is Informatica Intelligent Cloud Services. So within which we have got multiple microservices. Like for example, one will be used to carry out data integration operations. Like we call it as a data integration microservice. And we also have got what I call application integration, which is going to help us to carry out integration with third-party applications. Yeah. So in such cases, we can think of using what CAI, which is cloud application integration, or in short, we call it as AI, which is application integration.
Narasimha,
Yes,
Narasimha,
please.
can you maximize your screen? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah. Is it fine? It's better, right?
Yeah, go
Yes,
ahead, please.
it's better.
Okay, perfect. So yeah. So which means there are multiple microservices offered by Informatica in the cloud environment. Yeah? Let me try to show like what are the microservices. Then after that, I would talk about the architecture of Informatica Cloud. Yeah. So let it come up anyway. Actually, prior to that, I should start with the life cycle. So I hope you all will be knowing it, but I'll try to talk about it tomorrow. Yeah. So can you see here? If you look at this services, right? These are the multiple services or microservices we call. Like, can you see here? This particular microservice is going to help us in order to perform the data integration operations. And then this will be used to take care like how well we could able to integrate with third-party applications, which includes portal application or standalone application or any other in-transit application, right? Now, once you perform either simple integration operations or app integration operations, right? There is a way to get it monitored, like whatever activity that we carry out in both of these microservices. To answer that, one we have app integration console, which is going to help us to monitor the activities that we carry out within application integration. Now, other is what monitor. This monitor is going to help us to keep track of all the activities of what we do within this data integration. Yeah. Now, to control all of these microservices, right, at global level, we use what? Administrator. Yeah. So these are the things that we are going to focus as part of data integration and application integration. Yeah. But as we all know that when we talk about life cycle, yeah, just to recap, right, I'll just put it in the notepad so that you'll understand like where do we stand when it comes to these n number of services. So yeah, as we all know that any IM product, right, which is information management product, you know, it follows what predefined life cycle, you know, which we call, let's say, access layer, then followed by discover layer, then followed by cleanse layer, then followed by MDM layer, then followed by integration layer. Then we have what? Deliver, then finally it will be delivered to final target, which we call, that's the enterprise data warehouse. So this is the simple life cycle that we follow for any kind of information management product. Like we have from Informatica IM product, from IBM information management product. Then if you take open source, right? So in that as well, we could able to see what Pentaho, what information management product, and also we have Talent information management product, and so on. There are n number of IM products that we have in the market. Out of them, we are going to primarily focus on what? Informatica information management product. Let us just try to understand that. Yeah. So because we'll try to focus on specific topic rather than getting into other topics. That's not our primary focus point, right? Now in this, access is going to help us to read. I'll just summarize it. Then I'll elaborate it tomorrow. Then once you read it, we need to identify issues, which will be done by using discover layer. Once we identify issues, we can get it fixed by using a cleanse and also MDM. MDM also is going to help us to fix it. Then once you are done with that, so you'll have good data. So that good data will be taken as input to what? Integration. That's where we use what? ETL operations, and result of this ETL will be sent to final target, which we call enterprise data warehouse. Just remember that. Now within that, if you try to compare this particular life cycle with the services offered by Informatica Cloud, right? Can you see here? Data profiling. Where does it come in? Discover. So which is going to help us to get it fixed. Access is just to read, yeah, like reading data from a flat file, reading data from relational table, reading data from application like SAP, PeopleSoft, and so on, and then reading data from mainframe systems, or reading data from machine learning or artificial intelligence related sources. The source could be any sort, but access layer would take the responsibility of reading the data from such kind of sources, right? That is fine. So I'm trying to compare the specific services with respect to these layers, right? Like discover, we have seen data profiling. Cleanse, we have seen data quality. Yes or no? If we get time, I'll talk about it this as part of this program. And then we have MDM. MDM we don't have by default, we don't have access here. But if you want to carry out MDM operations in the cloud, can you see here MDM cloud, where we have got multiple sub-services. Yeah. So like Business 360 console, multi-domain console, customer 360, product 360, and so on. These are the multiple services within this MDM, like what you can see over here, right? Then when it comes to integration, so we have got data integration microservice, so which you can see to perform data integration operations, right? So I'll just go back to normal services. Can you see here? This one. That's it. So which means we can clearly see like all the layers of what we have within this life cycle would be taken care by using single point of interface, which we call Informatica Intelligent Cloud Services. Remember that. Yeah. I'll elaborate it. There is much more to talk. I'll talk about it as we go on, right? So in between, if you have any questions, right, you can always stop and ask questions, guys. Any questions so far?
Yes, I have one question. So you just mentioned in here based on the diagram, right? So that is there is cleansing. Cleansing is what we are doing in here. In what is the service name? You just showed in here. Data
Data
quality maybe.
quality. Yeah, right,
Okay.
right.
So before that there is a access. So access. Just let
Read
me
the data.
about that.
Yeah.
So through which application?
Okay. So yeah, this is a good question for access, right? Access can be used for any kind of what you call microservice. So we can use it in what data integration or data quality. We can say everywhere. Yeah. But primarily, as such, we do not have separate service to take care of access layer. So, but mostly we would be using what data integration, where part of this uh, functionality will be access layer, where we can read the data from a file or table or application, whatever. We got multiple what I call pre-built plugins, which are going to help us to read the data from appropriate source system. Got right, Raymond?
Yes, now I got it. But still, I have
Yeah.
one more doubt in here. So
Mhm.
between data integration, and application integration console, still I have doubt on that.
Okay. So fine. I'll talk about this. See, data integration, let's say we read it. Yeah. And then we can
Right.
also apply some ETL operations, right? Yes or no? Now the question, while performing this data integration operations, let us say we need to talk to third-party application through which we need to avail some functionality. For example, FedEx data. So can we do it just by using data integration? Answer is no. In such cases, we go with what? App integration, through which we can talk to FedEx and get the job done. Thereafter, we can get it integrated within data integration. You got right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If there are any FedEx problems while pulling the data from FedEx application, then those things will be troubleshooted by using what? Application integration console. Clear, right? This is just a high level bullet point, but
Okay.
we'll get into the deeper insights to each of those services with practical examples as we go on. Yeah,
Yes.
fine. So now I hope you got right high level perspective, like from where data comes in, what all we do, and where do we deliver. Yes or no? So that part is
Yes.
clear. Now, now let us try to focus on what integration, right? So that's what we are going to focus because that's what we are starting today. So within this, if you want to understand like how to perform data integration operations, right? First of all, we need to understand the architectural components and see how we can make multiple components to talk to each other. So that is going to be the primary focus point. To answer that, we need to get into what? Understanding this particular diagram. See, when we try to understand the architecture, right? So we'll go with what? Very basic elementary thing, then mid-level understanding, then advanced understanding. With that, you will have what a sequential approach of learning from basic to advanced. So that is why I've just started with what? Very elementary diagram through which you will get what? High level or broader perspective over here. After that, we'll get into what? Next level. Yeah. So see, when it comes to cloud, right, it could be Informatica cloud, it could be some other cloud, any cloud environment where they focus on what? Processing, not storage. I repeat, in cloud, we have got what? Got two subcategories. One for storage, second for processing. Remember that. Yeah. So, but Informatica offers what? Processing, not storage. Remember, guys, Informatica would take the responsibility of getting the data processed rather than what? Performing the storage. Storage means with respect to very large volume of data. That's what I meant. Yeah. Now, within this particular diagram, there are two broader layers over here. One is a on-prem layer or local layer, and second is a cloud layer. Remember, can you see here? Top portion would take care of the cloud layer, and bottom portion would be used for on-prem layer. You got right? So try to understand each and every term so that it's easy for you to understand all the subsequent topics. Clear, right? So, and whenever you get any questions or if you have any doubts, right, you can always stop me and ask questions. Yeah. So I'll make sure that each of your question will be answered clearly with examples. Remember that, right?
Sima, what is the difference between IICS and IDMC? Both are same or it's different?
No. So we can say IDMC is a superset of IICS. That's a very high level answer to a question. Like, see, IIS started with IC, we can say Informatica Cloud, then IICS, which is Informatica Intelligent. That's where artificial intelligence has been introduced. And third, IDMC. Within that, Informatica, they have also included what? MDM, Axon, Catalog. That's just high level answer to a question, but I'll get into the details as we go on. Clear, right?
Okay, okay, yeah.
Fine. So now let's open this diagram. Yeah. So this is an on-prem layer, right? This is a cloud layer. Yeah. So remember, guys, on-prem is a local, right? So local means, see, usually we get the data from either from third-party source systems in the form of a file or a table or some other form, right? So those things would fall under the category of what? On-prem. Yeah. Third-party sources could be, it could be local system. It could be, let's say, some other remote system, like some other states or regions or country, whatever. It could be from anywhere, in any form. They're all part of what? On-prem, which is on-premise, which is local. Yeah. So which means we are not going to deal with what? Cloud. So they're all part of what? Local. Yeah. So what do you expect from the local? Data. Data could be which form? Any form. It could be a file, table, whatever. In broader sense, it could be expressed in the form of what? Structured category, unstructured category, application-oriented category, and legacy category, right? Or machine learning category. So which means data can come in one of these forms. Remember that. They're all part of what? On-prem. Yeah. Clear, right? What is on-prem? So synonym is what? Local. Yeah. So now the question. Now let us talk about term cloud term. See, cloud, as I said, there are two subcategories. One will be used for processing. Second will be used for storage. Yeah. Example, on the left side, which we could see here is what? Informatica cloud. That will be used for processing. On the right side, we can able to see data, which is for what? Storage. Yeah. Example, on the left side, we can see Informatica cloud, right? So Informatica would take care of processing the activities of data integration, whereas result of data integration can be stored or will be stored in some storage media, which we call the cloud. You can see right clear, simple example. This is for storage, this is for processing. Clear, right? Now examples. See, like Informatica Cloud, there are lots of other processing tools in the market, which we don't need to get in at this stage. So as we go on, I will talk about who are all the vendors who is going to provide processing activities in the cloud environment. We will get there during later point in time, right? On the right side, data storage, right, in the cloud. So there are bunch of what I call service providers like Amazon, Google, whatever, right? We got bunch of cloud storage tools. Yeah. So that's about these two terms. Now the question, yeah. So how do you make this particular local activities which can be interacted with what? Cloud. This is the first question, right? Yes or no? Which means how do you make local services or local features or local activities which can talk to cloud? Someone should be there to make these two guys to talk to each other, right? Who is that someone? That is where we can see what agent. Yeah. Agent is just like a process or a service or utility or an application. These are all synonyms. I repeat, agent could be a process or a service or utility or an application. Remember that. So why do we need it? To make these two guys, which is on-prem and cloud, to talk to each other. Yeah. Now the question, can we use this particular agent in a public mode so that anybody can make use of it? Answer is no. So we need to get it protected. That's where we use the term secure. Yeah. So which means that security would be accomplished one by using simple authentication, or second by using firewall, third by using with a proxy, fourth by using encryption algorithms, fifth by using integrating with a third party authentication authorization tools, which means there are many ways to protect this particular agent. Yeah. So we'll see all of those details like what we discussed, right, as we go on, right? So now see every word or every technical word I'm going to talk. Remember, so wherever you don't understand, so try to pitch in there to ask questions, right? Fine. So now we understood local, cloud, and we can say mediator, which is secure agent. Yeah. And this agent, it has been built by Informatica. That's why we call it as what? Informatica Cloud Secure Agent. Remember this. That's a full name that we use in the context of Informatica. So name is what? Informatica Cloud Secure Agent, which will be used to make on-prem services or on-prem activities to talk to what? Cloud. Yeah. So that's it. Like why we need to get into this particular secure agent. Clear, right? So these two parts are clear. Now the question, yeah, as part of performing any data integration activities, we need to have some flow of understanding, right? So to do that, we can see this dotted line with bidirectional arrow, right? Arrow we can see in the bottom, arrow can also be seen in the top, right? Similarly, on the right side also, we could able to see what thick bidirectional line with arrow. What do they do? Let us try to talk about it. Yeah. So remember, guys, so we are trying to focus on especially what you call data integration, right? Yes or no? So let me talk about one or two sentences for data integration. Yeah. Using data integration, we perform ETL activities. So ETL, you all know, extract, transform, and load, right? Now, where do we extract? Let's say, so read, extract means read, right? Read data from, let's say, file, right? Where does it come in? On-prem. Remember that. You got right? So this part would come in as part of what? On-prem. Let's say we have got a file in a local system which has to be read by using what? Service offered by Informatica Cloud. Let's say on-prem has got a file which need to be read by using some service. Which service we use here? Data integration service, right? So using which we are reading the data. After that, when you read data, right, what is required actually? Let me answer, put in question here. To read data, what is required, guys? We need to have what? Metadata. So, so what is a metadata? It is data about data or data over data or simply a structure or simply we can also call it as a metadata, simple metadata, or it could be even we can also call it as a definition, or we can also call it as what? Descriptor. So we can use what? Multiple terms interoperably based on the context. Yes or no? But let's say we have got simple data. I'll just provide here C1, C2, C3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Simple example. This is a data, right? How do you read this data? We have to have metadata. What is the metadata for this? If we already have it, we can use it, or we can also create it. For example, C1 with a type of integer, C2 with a type of integer, C3 with a type of integer. This is simple example to understand metadata. Metadata includes what? Column name, column type, nullability, precision, length, scale, description, long description, extended meta attribute, and so on. There are multiple properties which are part of what? Metadata. But I'm trying to show here mandatory properties like column name and column type. Yeah. So now the question, once you define this metadata, right, where does it get stored? Can someone answer this question? There has to be some storage media, right?
Informatica repository. Repository.
Sorry? Yes.
Informatica repository.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, in the context of Informatica Cloud, yes, we store it in repository. In Informatica Cloud, we use a term ICR, which is Informatica Cloud Repository. Remember that, right? So where do we have it? In this particular diagram, we all could able to see in the top left. Can you see here? So this is where metadata will be stored. That is why we can see the label metadata, right? Which means whatever we do here, right? Data integration activities, right? If you try to say save, that metadata will be stored over here. Yeah. So which means we define metadata here. If you try to save, it will be saved where? Informatica Cloud Repository. That is what we can see in the top left, which means line pointing to what? Top. This is storing, right? Now the question, once the meta is ready, why do we need, where do we use it? We use it to process it. So that's where next activity comes in, which means we talked about ETL, right? Somewhere. Yes. Now to read data from a file, right? Like this is, let's say, file. Yeah, this is a file. Now we need to read the data from a file. How do you read it? We need to have metadata. Yes or no? Using DI, we are trying to read. To read it, what it does, it is going to pull the metadata from Informatica Cloud repository. To do that, can you see dotted line with arrow pointing in the bottom, right? So that is going to be the next arrow. So we read it. Now, once you read, no, we need to process it. How? By using what? Agent. So that's where within DI, we use agent to process this particular data. After that, we can, if you want to apply some transformation, we can do that. And if you want to write data to some target, we could also do it. That's a later point. Yeah. So that's it, guys. Like where this I'm trying to talk about in the context of architecture only. Yeah, that's not our focus, right? So we know what we do here and why we use this and what is the importance of this particular bidirectional data line from Informatica Cloud to on-prem, on-prem to Informatica Cloud. Any questions on this, guys? Once it is
Yeah.
clear,
Narasimha, one question.
yes, yes, please.
In this case, where is the data? Is it on-prem or cloud data in cloud?
This I'll come to that. Now we are focusing on these two, right? Out of these two, data will be the on-prem.
Okay. Okay.
Clear, right? Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
Now,
So, one
So, yes, please.
So Informatica Cloud Repository is a database, so resides in cloud, or it's like how it is.
Yes, that will be maintained by Informatica. Yes, it's a database where we store metadata. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a straight answer question. Yeah. Like, see, as we all know that in local ETL tool, right, like Informatica Power Center, I think you all would have seen, we use like either Sybase or DB2 or SQL Server or Oracle. These are the supported databases, right, for metadata. Same concept holds good even from what? Informatica side. They support only those four databases. That is where they maintain the metadata. Clear, right?
I have one question in here. So if it is a database and we are extracting from files, so how how it is interacting or how
See,
it is stored in there?
yeah, see, database is just like what's in this case, we store metadata. That's it, right? Now, when you try to process data from a file, right? That's your question, right?
Right.
First, in order to process data, right, we have to have metadata. This particular agent would take the responsibility of pulling the name metadata from this database,
Wow.
which is repository, right?
Mhm.
Then use that metadata to process this or to read this data from a file. That's what would be done by agent. That's not our job. We'll just understand how to make use of this agent. Rest would be taken care by this agent to pull metadata from Informatica Cloud repository and use it as input to read this particular source file data. Clear, right?
Yes, that's clear. And one more. So,
Yeah.
though you just explain why we use here like dotted line, and for storage it is like solid line.
Yeah, I'll come to that. So this part is
Okay.
clear, right? Data line
Yeah.
part.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Now I'll come to this part. Yeah. So
Sure.
now what we are trying to do here, so we are trying to process this data, right? On-prem file data. Yeah. Now let us say the target is what? A cloud example. Yeah. Let's say Amazon cloud. We all know that, right? So Amazon cloud will be used to store large data usually, right? For low volume of data, normally we don't use it. Yeah. Let us say low volume also we can use it. Usually we don't use it. Now the question, whatever we read it here, right? we are processing it by using agent, some operations, right? Now the question, we need to store output of this particular processed data somewhere. That somewhere could be in the cloud or it could be on-prem also. It could be anything. In this diagram, result of this will be stored in the cloud. You got right? Yes or no? I repeat, in this particular diagram, once we process by using agent, right? Result of that will be stored in the cloud storage medium. Example, Amazon Cloud. Like I'll talk about Amazon S3, we have simple storage space, like how data can be stored by using triple S. I'll talk about later. For now, we are talking about architecture, right? Let's talk about high level points. Yeah? From
So
here
each
to here,
and every client, Narsima, each and every client will use the different cloud, right? Like Amazon will use and Salesforce, Google, and all.
it could be
They will not
anything.
use. Yeah. Means
Let us say, yeah, yes, please go ahead.
what I'm trying to say, the client will not use couple of clouds, right? Like they will use particularly one company.
No, not necessary. For
Not
example,
necessary.
yeah, for example, let us say we need to pull the data from Salesforce Cloud and
Right.
push it to what? Amazon Cloud.
Amazon.
Even that kind of scenarios would come in, right? Yes or no? Because Salesforce they have designed
Got,
to perform some CRM operations.
hmm,
Then we need to get it transferred to Amazon. That also could happen, right?
got it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. So any other questions?
So far.
Yeah, ask any kind of question. We'll try to make it more interactive, guys, because you're all seniors, right? Ask any kind of question. Yeah. Fine. Now one side, this solid line with arrow, right? We have seen only one side of it from here to here. Now the next question, like I think just now we discussed, right? Let us say we need to read the data from the cloud, like a Salesforce cloud. Then
Narsim,
get
sorry
it
for
transferred to
interrupting.
a flat file. Then you can see arrow pointing to bottom, right? That comes in, which is we read the data from the cloud and push it to what? On-prem. But in all the cases, who is going to carry out these operations? Agent, which is what we
Okay.
call informatical cloud secure agent. Clear, right? Yes or no?
Karan, you are asking something?
Yes, please. Karan, you have some question? Yeah, fine. So I think it's clear, right? I think each and every point I think I explained from this diagram. If you have any questions from anybody, right? Ali, Rahman, Balaji, and Karan, right? So I can shoot out now.
So far, I don't have it.
Okay, fine. So that's about first level of understanding the informatical cloud architecture, right? Now it will be
Understood.
protected. You can see dotted line in the in between cloud and on-prem, right? That is protection, which is a firewall. Yeah. So, so accessing informatical cloud with a protection, accessing cloud data with a protection, which means agent will be well protected. Yeah, remember that. So that's the first level of understanding. Now let us talk about next level of understanding this particular architecture. Yeah. Can you see here? Same. This is also architecture only. Next level. So with some examples. Can you see on the left side on-premise, on the right
Yeah.
side cloud? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Examples on the left side, right? We can see database like say SQL Server, Oracle. Yes or no? And then files like file whatever, and then applications like SAP, CBEL, and PeopleSoft. Yes or no? And then when it comes to even reading the data from some other third-party application, we can also see here, right? So which means by using agent, we can read the data from anywhere. That's a simple answer to this particular left side diagram, right?
Hmm.
Now, On the right side, we can see cloud, right? One for processing, that's where we use Informatica Cloud. Another for storage, where we can think of looking at Salesforce, Amazon, whatever. Yeah, we can think of many storage medias, right? So these are broader terms. Now we can see one, two, three. What does it mean? It means what? When you try to process any or perform any ETL activity, right? What we need to do? We need to read the data from the file example or from table. To read it, first we need to have metadata. One. Can you see where do we have metadata?
Cloud.
Informatica Cloud Repository. That is where one first activity comes in, right? Yes or no? Once we read, right, we need to get it processed. Where do you process it? In on-prem only, which is wherever we install agent, right? That's where two comes in. Yes or no? So we read it, we processed it. What is the next step? We need to store it somewhere. That's where three comes in, which is three could be either it could be on-prem or it could be cloud. It is not mandatory that three should be always in the cloud because let's say we need to read the data from one state and get it transferred to other state. Both are in what? On-prem. In that case, three will be part of on-prem. Now let us say we need to read the data from one state and transfer that data to what? Cloud. In that case, these three would come as part of what? Cloud. Clear, guys? Where one comes in, where two comes in, where three comes in. I talked about with example. I hope it is clear. Yes or no?
Yeah. So basically, you're trying to say after cleansing, we can store the data in the secure agent, or else we can dump in the cloud also, like AWS or Salesforce or somewhere else.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. But agent, normally we should not use a term for storing agent. Agent, we don't use it for storing. But yes, storage will be file or table, whatever. Agent is just
Okay.
like a process to get the
Right.
data processed. This is a processing engine, just remember, right?
Hmm.
I repeat, agent is just like a processing engine, right? Like to read the data, get it processed and store it. These three operations we do it by using what? Agent. That's where we can use the term
Same how
processing
we
engine.
used to do it in the power center, right?
Like in Power Center, we use Power Center integration service, right? Yes or no?
Sensitive. Yes.
This is similar to that. You got right. See,
Right.
Power Center integration service will be used to transfer data from one task to another task. Yes or no? Similarly, here also, we use agent to transfer data from one task to another task. For example, to transfer data from on-prem to cloud. Who does it? Agent. In Power
Okay.
Center, we say int, which is Power Center integration service. Simple example. Clear, right?
Clear.
Okay.
Yeah, so one more question, Nachima. So the cleansing here we are doing, which uh, tool we are using for cleansing? It's the
Cleansing,
same,
huh?
yeah.
Yeah, cleansing
Yes.
actually separate. Yeah, that's a separate service. Like I was trying to talk about.
CDQ?
Sorry. Yeah,
Is it CDQ or
this one DQ. Yeah,
data
CDQ,
quality, right? Yeah.
data
Yes.
Mhm.
quality. Yeah, in outside we use a term CDQ, which is cloud data quality. You are right. Yeah.
Okay.
So that this part will be used to perform cleansing. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. So that's about second diagram. Any questions on this?
So is any limitation in IICS that it is not supported particular cloud or it will support any cloud?
Yeah.
It supports
From
no. See, none of the tools supports everything. So every tool will have some limitations. So, but Informatica supports majority. So that much we can say. All it won't support. For example, nowadays we got lots of cloud environments based on AI. So those things will not be supported by Informatica Cloud. You got right? Yes or no?
Hmm.
But yes, majority of the cloud environment it supports. That much we can say. But none of the cloud processing tools, right? They won't support all, only limited. Everything will have limitation because things are keep on getting evolved, right? So to support, they need to spend some time to interact and pull the data, right? So yes, that's why Informatica or IICS doesn't support all the cloud environments, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So now the question, I didn't talk about integration as a service. Why? I think when we started, right? So we have seen multiple what you call clickable elements here, right? We call them as what? Services, microservices we call, right? Now, as part of this particular training program, we are going to focus on integration, right? Can we use integration as a service or as a microservice? Answer is yes. That is why we can say the term integration as a service. To be precise, integration as a microservice. Remember that. I hope it is clear, right? Yes or no? Why we use the term integration as a service? So remember, guys, why we use a term service here, or we can also call it as what? SaaS, which is software as a service. What is software here? Integration, which can be used as what? A service. Why? In order to perform data integration operations, which means if it says SaaS, we don't need to take care of installing, configuration, and maintenance. All of these activities would be taken care by using what? Informatica. So that's why they have just created service and made it available to us. We should be in position to make use of this service in order to perform data integration activities. Just remember that, yeah. So which means every bullet point, every clickable element that we call it as what? A SaaS, which means data integration can be used as a SaaS, data quality can be used as a SaaS. SaaS means S double A, software as a service. Yeah. What is software here? Data quality. How to use it as a service? Service means it provides some functionalities which will be available always. That's where we use the term service, right? So that's it. Like why we use the term SaaS in the context of IICS, right? So we talked about two SaaS environments, right? One, quality, second, data integration. Likewise, you can think of even others as well. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So,
So, Nasima, but how to scale up and scale down infrastructure side, which is completely cloud means, say for example, we can't use the same infrastructure for all the volume of data, right? So if we face any performance issues, we have to request Informatica to scale up the infrastructure or how it is, because we can't see anything on the server side, right? So what are the um, basic infrastructure that they will give uh, to use this IACS?
yes. Yeah, that's a good question. Remember that. See, by default, when it comes to our project environment, right? Like a development environment, you will have usually one high-end agent that will be used by n number of developers within a team. That is a normal procedure that we follow. Now the question, when it comes to quality assurance environment, which is a testing environment, or pre-UAT environment, or UAT, a production, right? In that, in those environments, we have to have high-end systems, which is much bigger than developer system. So high-end could be expressed based on what? One or more agents. For example, for today's business, let's say we need to process 1 billion rows of data. Can we get it done by using dev environment? Yes, we could do it, but it would take a lot of time. Now the question, how to cut down the time taken to complete this particular activity? That's where we can plug in some more resources, which means some more what you call agents with respect to systems. So likewise, we can add n number of high-end systems in order to process these 1 billion rows in a short time. For example, if the end user expects this 1 billion data should be processed in 5 minutes, then we need to use proportionate number of systems. Similarly, if the business user expects this has to be done within a minute or two, in that case, we need to enhance or we need to increase some more resources so that the rest will be taken care by Informatica, like how well we could get it processed. Clear, right? So, which means in real UAT or production environment, these things would be taken care because we deal with what? Medium to large volume of data. Clear, right? Just straight answer to the question is what? Add resources. Balaji.
So that will be in our hand, or we need to request
Yes,
Informatica?
it's a complete in our hand only. See,
Okay.
Informatica, they just take care only processing. But how to process, it's in our hand. Like, are we going to make use of a single agent or multiple agents? That's a question, right? We decide, like, how many do you want it? Based on that, Informatica takes care of how to get it processed based on what you call available resources. Resources we supply. Based on that, Informatica would take care of how to process it. So that's all. That's the scope and visibility of Informatica. Clear, right?
So we can add multiple secure agents. That's the only
Okay.
we
Very
have
much
permission.
possible.
Okay.
We can add n number of agents. For instance, if you take a local environment, right, like a power center, where we can have n number of power center integration services, we can add it, right? Yes or no? But
Yeah.
each of the services would be listening against with a different port numbers. That we need to make sure. Yeah,
Yeah. In Power Center, we have options like high availability,
high
and those
availability, right? Here also we
are
have it.
okay. But we don't have any option to select high availability and all, right? So only you said only we need to add secure agents and all, because this is completely software as service. So we are not dealing with any of the server and all. So only from developer perspective, we need to add only the secure agents,
No,
right?
we can add it. So we can add n number of agents. So which means we can install and each agent would be listening against with what different port numbers. And at the time of execution, we specify what to be executed where. That's the complete thing is in our hand, Malaji.
So if I have 50 jobs created, so those 50 jobs I can assign to different agents.
Exactly. That's a job one pointing to agent one. Job two should point to agent two. Job three should point to
Okay.
agent three. Example, right?
That way we can reduce
Yeah,
some of
very much possible. At the time of
the.
execution, we specify where to execute it and how to execute it. It's a job of what? Informatica.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So that's it about second level explanation of this particular what architecture. So with this probably we'll stop and tomorrow I'm going to talk about what you call uh, some more elaboration of this architecture. So this is a extended form of architecture where we can see multiple other components and see why do we need rest of the components and how they are going to help us in order to meet our own business requirements and what is the essence of each of those activities that are each of those components that we could see in this particular diagram, right? So before we close, if anybody has got any kind of question, right, you can try to ask them.
Narsimha,
Yes, Karan.
yeah, now my voice is clear, right?
Yes, very clear.
Yeah. I had a question actually. When we transfer data from cloud to cloud, secure agent will be in on premise or like cloud.
Yeah, that's a good question. Remember, guys, see, agent can be used in a cloud or in on-prem. So there are two types of agents. One, cloud-hosted agent, and second, on-prem agent, right? Now, if you want to transfer data from cloud to cloud, we usually use what? Cloud-hosted agent. That's a default behavior, but we can also use what we call local agent also, provided you need to have access to what? Both the cloud environments. This is a cloud one, we read the data. Cloud two, we push the data. So in both the cases, if we have access to on-prem, right? In that case, on-prem agent also can be used. By default, we will not have it. That is why we would be using cloud-hosted agent to transfer data from one cloud to other cloud, like a Salesforce to Amazon. Correct?
Got it, Narsima. Thank you.
Okay, fine. So any other questions? Raymond, Ali, Balaji, and
No, not similar from my side.
fine.
No, I'm
So
good.
if there are no questions, we'll stop here. We just started, right? So we'll continue from here tomorrow. Fine.
Yes, I saw there in the
Do we
chat.
have class tomorrow, or is it?
Yeah, tomorrow is a weekend, right?
Yeah.
Next class is 16th. I saw on the message.
Yes, Raymond, you said something.
Yeah, I saw there is on message in this class. If you check, next class will be 16th.
16th or 14th?
Oh, well, no, January 16th, which is Tuesday.
16th. 16th.
Due to festival, they cancel it. So next session on Tuesday, 16 Jan, they said.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it, Ali. Thank you.
7 a.m. IST, 16th, right? That's what I mean.
Yes, on 16th. And another
Okay.
thing, so who is going to
But it's up to
provide?
you guys. So, yeah, if you want to have it on weekends, it's okay. It's our call. Yeah. But yes, we can think on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Revan, you're saying
If you
something?
are okay to attend, right, on weekends, right, then
Yes.
I'm
For me,
okay
I'll
as
take,
well.
I can attend.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I'm
anyway,
okay
I think
to
we
have on
can continue
weekends.
from Tuesday morning, right? Is that okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
Fine then. Yeah.
Tuesday. And
So happy week,
one
long
more
week.
thing, who is going to provide us this recorded session?
Yes, you'll get a link. Yeah. Fine. You'll try to type in your email ID so that I'll share it directly. Yeah.
Yes, I'm just adding on there.
Yeah, all of you, right? Ali, Balaji, I have it. Karan, Raymond, right? So please type in mail ID so that I'll share this link. And also, if you have any questions, right, you can also send an email to. I'll respond. Right?
And Narsimha, do we have any notes?
I'll share the presentation. Yeah. Fine, Ali.
Sure.
Okay, that will be good for me.
That's why you just supply the mail ID so that I'll just send it across. Yeah.
Yeah, I forwarded.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Raymond, I got it. Balaji, I have. Yeah, I think I got 4. Yeah. Let me just. Fine then. So I think we'll be meeting on Tuesday, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. We are meeting on Tuesday.
Okay, fine. Thanks all, guys, and bye.
Thank
So I
you.
have some others. Yeah. Bye.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Take care. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.